This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Isn't that good news? That's what I have to say. You know what I mean?
Fantastic.
Checked on something with the boys. Says Wolves grabbed 30-point lead in first quarter, take rocky road to blowout. Now, it doesn't indicate who got blown out, so I had to ask Tevin. They didn't have a 30-point lead and then lose by 30, did they?
No.
And luckily they didn't. Luckily they did not, so, you know. But basketball is that kind of game. You can just get your ass handed to you in the last 5 minutes of the game. It's amazing.
Yeah, and it's one of those where you blink and the other team hit, 5 threes in a row, and all of a sudden you're down 15 in the span of a couple seconds.
That's it. Story in the Star Tribune this morning. Oh, say, can you see Minnesota's new flag flying everywhere? No, I've never seen it flying anywhere.
I haven't either. Like, who's putting this up?
When are they going to stop with this? We have to change everything. Everything's got to go, and everything's. And you know that my favorite thing about all of this is, again, 25 years ago, I said we should assimilate, which is always a good idea. I got ripped because that's a horrible thing that oppresses people, blah, blah, blah. Well, what are we doing now? We're assimilating to other cultures, people who are different than us. We're moving together. It's a good thing. How did they not know that 25? Where'd they go to college, for Christ's sake? Assimilation is a good thing. We move toward one another, not just one side. Both move to the middle, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not all going to one specific culture. It's everybody coexisting and living together.
Yeah. I mean, is it ever going to be achieved? I doubt it, because people use other people's orientation, skin color, all of it, sex, all of it. They use it as tools. It's not used to, hey, let's hear what they have to say. It's not that at all. It's like, you either believe what I say or get the hell away from me.
Yeah.
That's not good. That's all I'm having to say. Everything's cool, but so the flag popping up everywhere. I have not seen it flown once anywhere in my entire existence as a Minnesotan. It's been around, what now, about 4 or 5 months, something like that?
Something. I feel like that's got to be about right. Maybe like 3 months.
Well, I feel like it's
somewhere.
been official, and I say official as a tentative word, because Chris Egert keeps telling me or telling us, I should say, that it's going to get like poked and prodded with the new legislative calendar or whatever. But it's got to take some time to like actually have those all mass produced and like distributed to different like city halls and everything like that, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, you can go online and purchase one.
All right.
I'm looking at one right now for $25. You can get a 2 foot by 3 foot double-sided flag that you can fly outside your house, Tom.
Can't you get one cheaper in Somalia? Because it's the same as that flag, isn't it?
For the most part, yeah. You might have to make a few alterations, but
we can't assimilate. We can't assimilate the flag. That's a horrible idea. How stupid have people gotten that you actually believe the bullshit your professors are telling you? They're in it for the money, just like everyone else. So if you think you're going to learn from some college professor, some of them are good. Most of them are not. They're just in it to paint this picture, to make some money, to work a 6-month year. I mean, get the hell away from me, right?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
And I'm in a good mood today, and I still say, get the hell away from me. And I'm in a good mood. So what does that tell you? You know what I'm saying.
People should really get the hell away from me.
Yeah.
So no matter what mood I'm in, back up.
That's exactly it. 100% true right there. Well, like I said, my friend Ralph in high school, 6'2", weighed about 240, and he was 16 years old. He was that big. Tommy, you're funny, man, but don't ever make fun of me. I'm like, you got it, Ralph. Not a problem. I assimilated to Ralph's needs. See how that works? And I was able to keep my teeth because of it. Right?
Yes.
I can't even imagine as a 16-year-old, because I was pretty big for a 16-year-old. I was like 6'1", weighed about 215.
Mm-hmm.
Ralph was a lot bigger than me. So I said, you know what? That's a good idea. I will never make fun of you.
Yeah, I'll never forget the first time I met somebody that was supposed to be my age, but they looked like they were twice my age and just a grown man.
Right.
Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, walking into the first day of college football practice. Oh, yeah, I'm the same size as a normal average college football player. Billy Turner, Minnesota's very own, now in the NFL, offensive lineman. I was like, you've got to be at least 30 years old. I was like, you're the size of a house. There's no way we're both freshmen about to play this sport. Like, I want nothing to do with you.
That's how the world should go. I want nothing to get the hell away from me. I want nothing to do with you. Get the hell away from me
right now. Luckily, you're on my team because I'm not trying to get by you.
See, I do. I love that whole idea. Just get the hell away. Well, you can't say get the hell away from me. They're too big.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think he was probably like 6'10", 300 pounds, and I'm 6'4", barely 200. Like I'm like, you could eat me. Like,
that's
this is terrible.
You be the one that moves. I'll get the hell away from you.
Yeah.
You stay here. I will go somewhere.
Tell me where you would like me to go.
I still have a question, and I'm sure there are answers now. But back in the day, let's say back when I was a teenager, where the hell did you find pants to fit a 6'10" kid?
Right.
That's Jesus.
You always hear stories about families that maybe don't have access to the store and their kids, just this huge middle schooler. And you'll hear like Shaq sending people like, here's some pair of size 18 shoes that I used to wear when I was in third grade. Because you can't just go to Kohl's or JCPenney or Target and find those sizes.
You just named like 3 places that are almost out of business.
I know. The second I said one, I was like, I think that place might be closing. Let's think of another one. I think that one also might be closing. Can we throw
Target's hanging in there. They moved, though, from downtown, which is unfortunate. But they're still in business, so that's good. No question about it. I mean, the news today is pretty light for a Friday, to tell you the truth. I don't see anybody that got shot yesterday so far. Had to have happened somewhere to keep Tevin's tally going there. 46 people in 45 days or whatever it was.
Yeah, we've got some numbers that have got to keep keep up with, I guess.
It is unbelievable. I still look in your own brain. There are people I do not like. There's no question about it. I would never think of shooting them. Just get away from me. Right.
There's nobody that I hate so much, or like even the angriest I've ever been in my life, where I'm like, you know what? I've always stopped just shy of murder. That's my goal in life. Stop just shy of murder.
That's I got no problem with that at all. As long as they're not dead. Hey, you had it coming. Got your ass kicked. Well, shut up from now on then.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, which is how it should be. Everybody, like, if you're so mad where you're going to fight somebody, that's fine. But then now you've learned your lesson. Go on with your day. Nobody needs to die.
Exactly. No one needs to perish. You're exactly right, ladies and gentlemen. We have to take a break here. We've got some sports coming up in a couple of seconds. Phil Mackey will join us. Got a big show today, as a matter of fact. Susan Gallagher and Martin Kove. Have you guys ever interviewed Martin Kove?
I have not, but I've seen him in Cobra Kai, so I was excited to have him on.
Oh, yeah. He's great in Cobra Kai.
It's a recognizable name. I'm excited. Secretly, I'm a Hallmark movie guy, so I'm kind of excited for their new flick they got coming up that they're promoting.
Susan Gallagher is going to be with them because the last time I interviewed Martin Kove, you be me, and I'll be Martin Kove. And this is the last time I interviewed him on the Q.
So we're being you?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure I know.
Go ahead, AJ. Ask a question.
So, Martin, how have you been? How have you been? What's the latest?
That's okay. God, that was a whole interview. I was like, it's okay. Things are okay.
You're talking to the mic, and this interview goes a lot smoother.
So Martin, how you like in Minneapolis? How's Minnesota treating you?
Yeah,
All right, well, hey, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
I will be right back. I assume I've always liked Martin Kove. He's been in a number of things, like you said, Cobra Kai. He's terrific in Cobra Kai. Made the big comeback. Have you guys watched all? What is it, 5 or 6 seasons?
I haven't.
Nope, I haven't. I'm on season 3.
I'm just
really good.
So I'm pretty fresh.
Oh, that's all I have to say.
You just summed up half the show.
Yeah, that's pretty much all the dialogue.
Yep.
Whoa. So, I was a teenager when I guess because of World War II and people going to, Japan and China and, Asian countries and all that, all of a sudden everybody wanted I'm going to learn how to do Kung Fu. Like, what? Settle down.
Well, they had the song where everybody was kung fu fighting. Yeah. Not sure how politically correct that song is, but it was a number one hit.
They was fast as lightning. What more do you want from them? See what I mean? We shall take a break. Be right back. We'll ask Phil Mackey what the hell's wrong with him. I mean, what's going on right after this, ladies and gentlemen. Tom Barnard Podcast has a sweet way to treat your sweetheart. A $25 gift certificate to Grand Ole Creamery's on sale this week for half price. It's only $25. A super premium ice cream for only $12.50. That's phenomenal. Their ice cream is great. Get your favorite flavor from their 32 flavors to choose from in the store at any time. Certificates are in limited supply, so get yours now. Then redeem them at either of the 2 Grand Ole Creamery locations on Grand Avenue in St. Paul or Cedar Avenue in Minneapolis. Grand Ole Creamery also offers malts and shakes, cakes, plus pints and quarts of ice cream to take home. And, of course, try their famous sweet-smelling homemade hand-rolled malted waffle cones with that whopper in the bottom. It really is a sweet way to treat your sweetheart. So, act now to get your $25 Grand Ole Creamery voucher for only like I said, $12.50 value, only $12.50. What do you think of that? $25 down to $12.50. Visit TomBarnardShow.com and enter keyword deal to get yours while they last. That's TomBarnardShow.com, keyword deal.
Recently, Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC was contacted by a company that does on-site sales. Jim was confused.
Wait, they don't know anything about us, our staff, our reputation, most importantly, our customers.
Hey, pal, no problem. We do them all over the country. You know, get the manager off the roof sale, inflatable gorilla sale, and our favorite, the 13-hour sale with a giant clock that goes to 13. Urgency, baby. We bring our crew because, well, your people are, let's just say, a little laid back.
And the pricing?
Nothing special, sport.
But Jim thought, we price competitively every day. Our prices are special. We definitely don't need these guys. But sale does convey some urgency, so we made a bold decision for his fine dealerships.
Announcing the Valley Buick GMC 365-day sale. And we can even extend it a couple years or so.
I got the air dancer guy, scratch-offs, plastic keys, bubble machine.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley or Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Hurry.
You know, Mike Lindell, My Pillow employees, well, they want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. You've been great to them. To thank you, they're having an overstock, clearance, and new product sale right now for the best prices ever when you use promo code TOM, and you get free shipping on your entire order. Get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and will not last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98. Take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything's on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb. They have dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to MyPillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM, and you get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146 or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code TOM.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
I love that dramatic thing. This is Phil Mackey.
Yeah, schwang.
Schwang. Oh, schwang, really?
Schwang.
Yeah, exactly. You're filthy. That's all I have to say.
Yes, I am. Yes,
what movie was that when the guy from France kept calling you filthy sing? Remember that? What movie was that?
I don't know.
Oh, you filthy sing.
No, I don't know.
Okay. Well,
I heard you guys talking about the kung fu excitement back in the day. So I used to get into, I wasn't born for the original run of the Kung Fu TV series, but they brought it back in like the early 90s with, was it David Carradine, I want to say?
Yes, sir.
And then the other show that I grew up on was Walker, Texas Ranger with Chuck Norris.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, let's go. Every episode was the same. It was like an hour long, and it was Chuck Norris in some tight cowboy jeans, taking some adversity would happen, and then some more adversity, and then he would just like fight his way out of it for the last 10 minutes.
And who was his partner? The black guy always had to fight the biggest cowboy bad guy out there. And that was his whole spiel. Was Chuck in the eyes of a ranger. And then
Clarence Gilliard was the actor that played his main partner. Yeah.
Wasn't Alan Hamilton from Minneapolis? Wasn't he in that series for a while, or in the? I think he was in the movie. Was there a movie about that?
Oh, probably. I mean, well, Chuck Norris was in a bunch of those. I mean, they basically took all of Chuck Norris's movies from, the late 70s to the early 90s and just made a TV show. Walker, Texas Ranger.
Walker, Texas. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Alan Hamilton did a movie with him. Matter of fact, I know he did, but I can't remember the name of the movie. But Alan, I did a lot of voiceover with him in Minneapolis back in the golden days of that business. Yeah. That was back when actors thought it was beneath them to do commercials, and now they see the millions of dollars, so it's no longer beneath them.
Now they're schlepping everywhere. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. But Alan was a damn good actor. I haven't talked to Alan in a while. But yeah, a lot of really good actors came out of Minneapolis, St. Paul. No doubt about that.
Yeah, I love these wormholes we go down here. We went down a similar one on Purple Daily on Monday or Tuesday when news came out that the Super Bowl, and of course, like the population keeps going up, so you're going to have the most watched. But it was the Super Bowl was the most watched television event in American history with like 120 million viewers in the United States. And so we pulled up the Wikipedia page, and of course, of the top 30 TV show broadcasts, 29 of them are Super Bowls.
There you go.
One is the MASH finale from 1983.
Oh, really?
Which still clings to the 11th spot, even though that was 40 years ago. But I should pull this up and quiz you guys, actually. Most watched TV shows. Because if you take away Super Bowls.
I'm going with Gunsmoke.
So that's a good one. So there's two lists. There's like the rating for a series in any given year, and Gunsmoke had the highest rated series for probably it was I Love Lucy for like 5 years.
Oh yeah.
And then it was Gunsmoke. Then there was a Gunsmoke dynasty, and then Bonanza had a few years there.
Yes, sir.
Probably all right in Tom's wheelhouse. But in terms of singular episodes, like singular TV events, I'll give you guys this list. Opine as you. So we're taking Super Bowls out. The MASH finale is still number one from February 28, 1983. And then, there's like Gulf War coverage from 1991.
Ish.
All right.
We'll take away political and war events.
Good.
The Dallas Whodunit episode from 1980. Did you ever watch Dallas?
Yeah, back in the day I did watch that. What was that guy's name again? The guy who supposedly shot somebody or got shot or what the hell was his name?
I don't think
Very
I've ever
famous
seen
guy.
the show. Like the actor's name?
Yeah.
Well, Dallas?
Larry Hagman, Patrick Duffy.
Larry Hagman.
Patrick Duffy.
Exactly
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Or Patrick Duffy, too, because he was a big name, too, wasn't he?
See, I'm of the age where I remember Patrick Duffy more from Step by Step, the 90s sitcom, than from Dallas.
Sure.
So the Dallas Whodunit, and then the Cheers finale from 1993.
That makes sense.
And then there was I'd never heard of this, but after we talked about it on Monday, I did watch this movie later that night. It was a made-for-TV ABC movie from 1983 called The Day After. And it was a what if. It was about what if Russia and the United States got into a nuclear war battle, and what would the day after that look like? And 100 million people in the United States, probably out of fear at the time, watched that on ABC. A good family-friendly movie on ABC.
Maybe they should put that back on because we're about 2 inches away from that now.
I know.
You see everybody who's coming over the border now, the southern border?
Yeah, maybe ABC needs to make another family-friendly movie we can all gather around on Friday.
How about that?
Okay, kids, so grab some popcorn, grab some chocolate.
I don't remember who it is, but there's a national broadcast guy, radio, television guy. I don't remember who it is, but he said the number of Chinese people directly from China coming over our border has gotten into the thousands. We are at war, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. He made that announcement yesterday. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, it's definitely not sunshine and roses right now, I feel like. And then the final one on this list is the Seinfeld finale from 1998. 76 million people tuned in for that.
It was a horrible episode. Did you ever watch it?
I did, yeah.
It was not good at all.
People were disappointed. Yeah.
I know that, because I loved that show. And the funny thing about that is the show was called Seinfeld, and he was the worst person on the show.
Yeah.
He's not funny. He wasn't interesting. Everybody else was great, but he was okay.
A little smug. I'm a much bigger Curb Your Enthusiasm fan than Seinfeld fan.
I could see that.
Some Larry David.
Larry's have you watched the final episodes coming up this year? There have been a couple of them, I think.
I did watch I think we're 2 or 3 in. I watched the first one, and it was hilarious because I've had the J.G. Wentworth TV commercial song in my head for about 25 years. The episode starts with with Larry's like pretend girlfriend singing the J.G. Wentworth thing. Call 877 cash now.
877 cash now. You got to follow it up, man. Yeah, those were all good TV shows, no question about that. I just, it's comedies right now. Abbott Elementary's good. Comedies right now are okay. I shouldn't go because I haven't watched some of them. Some of them might be really, really good. But is there a new comedy that's really, really pretty good?
I think so. I'm not that's, but you've hit on I think a bigger topic here, which is there's not a lot of like network TV comedies that are sit down events anymore, just because of how fragmented. Think about you sit and have conversations 20 or 30 or 40 years ago about, man, did you see ER last night? And literally a fourth of America watches the same show because there weren't that many options. Now you're like, hey, Tevin, did you see that streaming show on the Paramount Plus platform or the Peacock? Right. There's so many shows and platforms. It's hard for people to all be watching the same thing now.
They're really, really good. And one of the things I'm grateful for streaming TV is I realized that this actually happened, that a drug dealer named Griselda named her son Michael Corleone Blanco. Yeah. Names her kid after a gangster. That's real.
It's a gangster move to name your kid after a gangster.
That is a very gangster move. No, Michael Corleone Blanco. He's still alive. He's the only one in the family still alive. Okay. All the rest of them were shot to death.
God.
Yeah. Other than that, everything's good, though.
Everything's great, though, after that. Yeah.
All right. Well, is there anything in comedy coming up? Because can you guys, maybe you could recommend a couple of comedies you watched? Because I can't find anything that's all that funny anymore.
I would say it's kind of a comedy. It's like a comedy drama that we're going into season 3. My wife and I just started watching season 1. It's an FX show. I think you can find it on Hulu. It's called The Bear.
Oh yeah, it's a good show.
Yes, chef. Yes, chef.
The Bear.
It's pretty good. It's about, for the audience, it's about this long story short, the brother of this renowned chef. He literally has worked at the French Laundry for multiple years.
God.
He inherits, his brother dies and he inherits this just sort of hole in the ground meat sandwich restaurant, like a beef sandwich restaurant in Chicago, and it's about trying to kickstart this thing and sort of uncover the trail of what happened to his family. But that's pretty good. But I don't know, in terms of like, hey, have you seen this comedy on ABC or this comedy on? I guess Curb Your Enthusiasm for me, 20 years in, is still number one.
I suppose that's probably true. Why'd you mention the French Laundry? Just to insult me? Is that what you did that?
Did you get kicked out?
Yes. Catherine and I went out to the old vineyards out there in Napa Valley. And we went to the French Laundry. I walked through the front door and a man said, "I'm sorry, sir, but you cannot come in here wearing shorts."
Yeah, there it is.
I'm like, okay, Catherine, see you later.
Did you guys have a reservation all set too?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But they said you cannot come in here with shorts on. That's
See,
probably
they should give you some spare pants. They should have some spare khakis. They'll give you a sport coat at some of these places if you don't have one.
That's true. They do. But I don't know if I want to wear someone else's pants.
Yeah.
A little ass juice in the crack there. No, thank you. I'm good.
Well, it's called the French Laundry. They probably have clean pants.
Yes, I would hope so. At the French Laundry, having clean pants would be a good call.
That's okay. You would have still been hungry after that dinner anyways, right? You would have had to stop at a fast food place at the end of the night.
They wouldn't even need to give you the whole pair of pants. I'm sure they could just get something that like clips onto the bottom of your shorts to cover your calves.
Like chaps or something.
Yeah, some chaps would have been.
Wearing chaps and shorts. That'd be very popular. You guys ever done the Napa Valley tour?
Yeah, a couple times. I have family out living in actually Sonoma, the Sonoma part of wine country.
Very nice.
It's a good time out there.
It is a great time, and I don't drink anymore. Although last night I made because I had stopped drinking like 12 years ago. And last night we had dinner with a bunch of really good friends, and they brought out this little glass of dessert kind of stuff for us. So I grab it. I take a big sip of it. It was booze.
Yeah.
It lit my mouth up like it was on fire, for Christ's sake. I'm like, whoa.
What kind of, like, was it like a dessert drink or what are we talking about here?
Lemonata or I don't know, whatever.
Oh, limoncello?
Limoncello. There you go. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
That's got booze in it.
Yeah, limoncello, definitely a boozy dessert drink. Sweet.
Yeah, because I was never a booze guy. I tried drinking scotch for a while, but I'm a beer and wine guy. I always was a beer and wine guy, and I still buy a lot of wine. We got all this wine. You guys ever want some wine? You should come over to the house because you got about 8,000 bottles of it laying down there somewhere. So
I'll be
maybe
there.
not that many,
I'll be there soon. Be there this afternoon.
Send me your ETA. I'll meet you there. Well, Carp.
Yeah.
Just dial in this number on the garage, and they'll let you right in. You can go down and booze it up. Yeah, but some people, I guess, are very touchy about. Because to tell you the truth, when I quit drinking, it's just one night I went, Catherine doesn't like it. I'm not going to drink anymore. And I never did again, except for that would be the third time at a restaurant that I was served an alcoholic drink because I ordered a couple of no alcohol beers at restaurants. Most often they're going to bring you a beer and it ain't no alcohol.
You got to check the label. Yeah.
You got to check the label. But again, I wasn't the kind of drinker who if I have another drink, I'll jump right back into it. I was never that kind of guy. It was more, I drank mostly like beer and wine to release stress because it's hard to believe, but I've been kind of stressed out since I was about 4 years old. You know.
You don't get worked up, Tom.
No, never. Not at all. No question. So what do you got coming up this weekend? Anything good in sports?
Well, the Timberwolves head into the All-Star break. They've got two All-Stars, Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns. But they go in having essentially swept this road trip they were just on, beating everyone by 20 or 30 points. And they sit at the All-Star break a game and a half in front of everybody else in the Western Conference. So the number one team in the West at the All-Star break is the Timberwolves. And they're just smoking everyone. I mean, Anthony Edwards is just like banking in threes and free throws to show off at the end of these games. So we'll see. This is probably the best Timberwolves team in franchise history. We'll see if they can go as far as the team from 20 years ago down the stretch here. But they're fun to watch. They're fun to watch.
It is a hell of a sport to watch because the athleticism of those people is unbelievable.
Yeah, and they're one of the tallest and lengthiest teams in the NBA too. So they just, in addition to doing fun things on offense with Anthony Edwards and throwing lobs to Rudy Gobert, they just make it impossible for the other team to score and get comfortable. So it's like I said, there's been a lot. It's been 36 years of Timberwolves basketball. Most of those seasons, pain, irrelevance, embarrassment, and this year, I think everyone's waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like there's an article on Deadspin. I didn't even know Deadspin still existed until today. But there's like a hit piece on the Timberwolves saying that they're a fraudulent number one seed and they're going to come crashing down. Like, can't we just have this moment one time? Just let us have this moment, for God's sake.
No, look. This is the world in 2024. No one can be happy, and I have the right to absolutely shred you because it makes me feel better.
Right.
What the hell kind of world is that?
Tear down the Timberwolves? It's like we finally passed a class in high school, and you're like, I don't know. It looks like there might have been a mistake on that second written exam. Just let us have the passing grade one time.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question to close here, and you can't lie, any of the three of you. Okay, AJ, could you ever in your life dunk a basketball on a regulation basketball court? No.
Come on, you don't need to ask me that.
Phil?
No, zero chance. No.
Zero chance? Devin?
I can't even touch the bottom of the net. No.
Okay, this is a two-part question, though. So, Tevin, could you dunk a basketball?
Yeah, I might be able to even still dunk a basketball if I stretch enough. Yeah.
Well, I would imagine you loosen up a little bit and all the rest of it. I never could dunk a basketball, but I could jump up and grab the rim. That's as close as I ever got. Mm-hmm. Now, don't lie, the three of you. Did you ever go over to a buddy's house who has a little kid, maybe the kid's 8, 9, 10 years old, wants to play basketball? So they set the court up for the kid. You notice the basket sitting at about 8 feet rather than 10 feet. Did you grab a basketball and dunk it?
Oh,
don't lie.
We used to have slam dunk contests. And my friends that couldn't dunk, we would lower the hoop to like 8.5 feet.
Right.
Oh, we're between the legs dunk. I'm dunking on any little kid that gets in the way. Yeah, we're.
I would say, to be clear, I can't even dunk on the 8-foot rim. But
Okay.
if I'm playing 9-year-olds, I'm playing Rudy Gobert all-star defense just to make myself feel good.
AJ, 8-foot basket?
Oh, no, I mean, no chance. I still can't do that. When I was in elementary school on the blacktop, they had these, like, you could lower it to like 6 feet.
Mm-hmm.
us as like fourth graders were out there lowering that, and like the pickup games during recess were just insane. Just alley oops nonstop back and forth.
Oh, sure. I mean, the only reason I could even come close is I have big hands, and therefore I could palm a basketball. Yeah. I could grab the top of a basketball and palm it. Mm-hmm. That's about the only way, unless you can get way up in the air, you're going to have to. So you can literally dunk right there at your wrist. I mean?
And just to clarify, listen, I can get up above the rim. My hands are too small, Tom. That's the problem.
It does happen.
I've got these tiny little hands.
It does happen with some people. There's no question about it. Tiny hands, big heart. Don't forget that.
Yes. Me and Dante Culpepper with our small hands. That's right.
Oh, that's right. Dante Culpepper. Small hands and small brain. I remember. All right. We better move on before I get sued. What do you think?
Tom's going to get us all canceled, but it'll be a fun ride.
Will get canceled, exactly. Phil, always a great job. We'll talk to you on Monday, pal.
All right. Enjoy your weekends, guys.
Thanks a lot. We'll take a break. Be right back in a couple minutes. Chris Egert will join us right after this. Have you enjoyed Minnesota's non-winter this year? You want to enjoy the warmth whenever you want? 2 Minnesotans can help you live that dream. Matt Carlson from Realty One Group Destination Key West grew up in Litchfield, Minnesota, started out helping his friends find homes locally and in Florida, and now can help you. If you'd considered living in the warmth of Florida, now's the time to reach out to your new friend in Realty, Matt Carlson. It's a buyer's market now, and your Minnesotan friend Matt can help you with a new home here or in the Florida Keys. And if you need some guidance with financing, Kristen Eklund from Coast to Coast Mortgage can help. Kristen is Matt's preferred lender, can finance anywhere in Florida, and like Matt, is one of us, as she hails from the Sartell, Alexandria area. So if you're looking at a new home in Minnesota, or maybe that second home or retirement place in Florida, these are good people. Trust your new local friends and contact Matt and Kristen. Visit onekeywest.com. That's onekeywest.com, or call Matt at 612-791-2345. 612-791-2345. Look how that lined up beautifully. You can work with local professionals that you can trust.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Hello, I'm Brad Huckle, President and Chief Lending Officer at North American Banking Company.
And I'm Michael Bilski, CEO at North American Banking Company.
As a locally owned and operated community bank, we work with many multi-generational businesses.
Take personal care dentistry of Roseville, for example. Dr. Walter Hunt, also known as Painless to me, has been a longtime customer of the bank since we opened the bank in 1998.
When his son Kyle was ready to join the practice, they wanted to expand quickly.
With their additional space and equipment, they now are able to see more patients each day while providing the same level of care and service.
Okay, guys, I'll take it from here. If you run a family business or any kind of business for that matter, you should be banking with Brad and Mike over at North American Banking Company. Every time I deal with them or their team, I know I'm working with experienced professional bankers. So why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
And our special appearance every day by Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. So I have a question for all three of you, one in TV, two in broadcasting. So you can't really say radio or podcasting anymore. It's kind of like broadcasting.
It's content production,
Content production.
Well, content.
You know what I'm going to say? Next time somebody lies to me, I'm going to go, oh, you're full of content production. What do you think? Should I just go that route?
Yeah.
Instead of you're a lying sumbitch. something like that. So, any big news in the? Oh yeah, go ahead.
What was your question for us? Because I cut you off by saying content. You said you had a question for the three of us.
I did have a question, but I forgot what it was because you've ruined the show.
Well, I might be able to save the show because before the break, you were asking us if we could dunk.
That's correct.
We've got some footage, not footage, but visual imagery of one of us dunking here. Are you ready for this?
Uh-oh. Oh my God.
Okay, Chris, let's talk about what a dunk is, first of all.
Yeah, that was for
you snap the rim on the way down.
That was for pictures. I could dunk very easily back when I had feet. I think there's a better picture.
I had feet.
You guys were talking about that, and so I'm like, I think I might have a picture somewhere. I don't actually have one of an actual dunk being thrown down because we didn't have phones back then. You know,
that's true. Yeah.
Actual camera.
Did you play in like the 40s? What is this picture that you sent?
The
Black
40s.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was some like little all-star tournament thing that they had, and I think that was in the newspaper. So the newspaper would take black and white photos because they're cheaper and easier to produce. Tevin, you can still dunk today.
Maybe. I haven't tried to dunk.
I mean, you're a relatively young dude. That's still very impressive.
Don't you think it's kind of sad though that I have a 31-inch inseam and 37-inch arms, and that's why I can't dunk? If I had normal legs, I could easily dunk. They got those little German short hair legs or whatever.
Well, I guess the argument would be you've got really long arms, which would make up for
right. Well, that's why I can grab the rim.
Yeah.
Or I used to. I don't think I could.
You would have been
anymore.
probably a pretty good basketball player with that wingspan. Really good defender. Get those arms out.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, except for I grew up with a bunch of guys who were really good athletes, so I was always the bad one. Oh, good. Tom's going to play with us. Great.
Yep. There's always that one, and the one guy that's a much superior athlete to everybody else that humbles you. And you're like, maybe the sports really isn't my thing.
Yeah, maybe. And they're not even a professional, so what does that tell you?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it's a different situation, but yeah, that was a ball playing baseball, basketball, football back when you were a kid. I never did play hockey. I think I went skating once in my life. That was about it.
Yeah, that's pretty unusual for these parts.
It is, yeah. I just never cared for being outside in the winter. I got to be honest with you. Never liked winter.
I played hockey for like 1 year when I was like in, like I said, it would be like mites or something when you're super young.
Yep.
And my parents got that bill for the equipment, and they said, how about we go back to basketball?
It's a little spendy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
Okay, I got to bring this one thing up, and I'll get out of your way. Do you remember the first time, if you've ever done it, obviously, the first time you ever walked into a hockey locker room?
You'll never forget the smell.
You will never, ever forget the smell.
Yeah, I mean, the football locker room's not great, but the hockey locker room is
It's
next
worse.
level stank. Yeah.
It really is.
It's homely.
Why is that?
It's homely.
It's undescribable, but like it's like comforting to me. You know, just you get hit. It's as soon as you walk in the door, there's a clear barrier of smell, and as soon as you
no doubt,
and it's like, woof.
It's like smelling salts. Like you're like, oh, just in the face.
Yes. A lot of that depends on the age of the hockey player too, like what kind of stink they're putting off. That's for sure.
Yeah. That's so great, though, that all four of us agree. You walk into a hockey locker room, you had your eyes closed, your ears plugged, and they walked you into a room. You go, oh, this is a hockey locker room. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
It's just the level of clothing, or what the hell is it? I never did understand what causes that.
I mean, I guess I don't know what differentiates it from like the stink of a football locker room
But it does.
I don't know if it's the gloves. There's certain smells that it gives it a different texture than that of a other sport.
You can taste it. It's just hockey players. I think they just don't care. And you know what? We don't need to clean anything. We're just going to leave it all dirty.
Well, that's
and
the
leave
thing.
it
Like I don't really I never used to like wash my gear often. You do it like once a year. You wear it, you throw it in your bag, you go home, you let it air out like in the basement. But then the next time you have practice or a game, or whatever, you throw it back in the bag. Everything's together. The smells are kind of meticulating in there together. It's mixing, it's matching, and now your foot smells like your hand, and your chin smells like your shoulder. Like everything's the same.
Basketball is jerseys were washed after every practice, every game. Football, same thing. Hockey players, dirty.
We can close with this. I had dinner with Lou Nanne as a family again last night. Catherine and I did. Have you guys seen Lou Nanne lately?
Mm-mm.
No, that's on like a year ago.
I've seen not in person, but I've seen him on like some wild broadcasts and stuff calling games.
I sat across him at the dinner table last night. Lou Nanne is 82 years old, and if anybody thought he was one day over 60, I'd be shocked. Jesus, he didn't have a wrinkle on his face. The guy looks like he's about 55, for Christ's sake. It's not fair.
Well, that whole family ages very well.
They do. That's true.
I was at one of their like family events, and they all were walking in, and it looked like America's Next Top Model. Just you guys are all very well put together.
Oh, you get Tino Lettieri, of course, is Michelle's husband, but you get Michelle. Of course, Mrs. Nanne. I don't want to go by her first name because we've been friends for a long time. And then you get Catherine. You're sitting there with these three women, and you're like, how did any of us ever figure this deal out? I'm looking at the guys like, what? All three of us. How do we match up with those three? How'd that work?
Yeah, and you're like almost scared to talk about it because you're like, we don't want them to realize.
Exactly right. Yeah. That's exactly right. But Lou Nanne, honest to God, I'm not exaggerating. I say he doesn't look a damn day over about 57 years old. No. It's unbelievable. He's 82.
We have him coming on Minnesota Live in a couple weeks.
You do?
Looking for I haven't seen him in person for a couple years, so that'll be
Great
good.
Guy.
I'll size him up.
Yeah, size him up for me, would you? All right, pal. Let me know. We'll have a magnificent weekend. Another superb job.
I don't think I mentioned one news thing, so I guess I'll say don't mess with Vlad.
With Vlad?
Vlad.
Oh, Vlad the Impaler?
Vladimir Putin.
Oh, Navalny died, right?
Yeah, his biggest rival, who's been in prison, went for a walk and died mysteriously.
Yeah, but he was pretty old. Wasn't he like 46?
He was 47.
He was getting a little ripe up there.
He's 47. We were expecting him to die on his walk.
I'm surprised he's still alive, quite frankly.
I agree.
Natural causes.
He was. Yeah.
Anyway,
that's it.
All right, Pally. We'll talk to you on Monday.
Later, guys.
Thanks. Oh, I should ask you, is he going to be on Monday? Because it's President's Day Monday. So some people are taking a day off. I know that.
I know we've already worked that out with Kristen Birch. She will be on because she's working regardless. We'll talk to Chris and figure that out for Monday.
Yeah, because Andy, I know, doesn't want to do the family podcast on Monday because it's President's Day. Oh, I should mention you guys too that I'm going to take the week of April 1st off, April 1st through the 5th. So if that works for you guys to take that period off and take a vacation.
We're going to do the AJ show.
No,
yeah, you can do the AJ show. There you go.
We're doing the Tevin show.
But we're taking the kids to Disney World, so that's
that'll be fun.
Nothing I can back out of there. I got to go to Disney World the first week in April, but I thought I'd give you a little heads up that we're taking that week off. If that's cool with you guys,
it works for me.
You call the shots, so if you say
here
dance,
we go.
I say what?
He's the puppeteer.
The puppeteer. Channel 5's Chris Egert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. We will take a break and be right back. The lovely and talented Bob Sansevere will join us next. February is the month for love. When is the last time you gave your carpet the love and attention it really deserves? Have you gotten down on your hands and knees and adored how clean and refreshed it was? Or are you scared what you might see or smell maybe? Not only is your carpet one of the biggest investments in your home, but it's also the biggest air filter in your house. Lucky for you, Zero Res is going to spread the love to you and your home with their Love Your Rug special. Get 3 rooms, Zero Resified, starting at just $119 and a free hallway. Don't forget dirt and dander's favorite hiding place, your air ducts. This month, take $75 off when you get your air ducts Zero Res clean. Call Zero Res right now, 952-ZERO-RES, 952-ZEROREZ, or go online at ZeroResMinnesota.com and say you want the Tom Barnard Show special. Protect your employees and customers by getting your business zero-resified by the pros at Zero Res. Call today for your commercial cleaning estimate. Spell it forward or backward. It spells the same. Zero Res.
This is Bob Sansevere, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialke from Bialke Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialke Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit bialkelaw.com. That's BIALKE law.com.
When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
You are indeed, and ladies and gentlemen, now joined by Bob Sansevere. Bob Sansevere Sports brought to you by Bialke Law Firm. Heard at work. Dave Bialke goes to work for you, taking care of your workers' comp injury claims and denials. Call 763-571-2410 or go to BIALKElaw.com. Tell them Bob and Tom sent you. Sanny, what's the latest?
Well, I just learned that you and I both have funhouse mirror bodies because I've got a similar inseam, and we have the longer upper body and the squat little legs like you're standing in front of a funhouse mirror.
I just stood in front of my mirror in my bathroom. I ran down the hall. My fingertips are about, when I just hold my arms down by my side, my fingers are about that much short of my knees. That's weird.
Yeah, that's really weird.
When you were growing up, did your friends call you Magilla?
Oh, God, yes. It was, yeah, no question about it. No doubt about it. I was a monkey.
That's probably lost on Tevin and AJ because they wouldn't know who Magilla Gorilla is.
No, I was gonna say he was at the top of the Eiffel Tower or whatever it was with that girl swatting at planes.
Magilla Gorilla was a great cartoon.
God,
Okay,
you know what?
it's I'm almost positive. Was he purple?
I don't know. No, he was how many? No, he's not purple.
Okay,
It's not like
Sandy's
a purple
upset.
dinosaur.
Sandy's
He lived in a pet store. Look up Magilla Gorilla, then you'll learn more.
That was a good show, actually. I like Magilla Gorilla.
It was funny.
But can you imagine if I had grown properly, I would be about 6'6", with a 37-inch reach. I could stand flat-footed and dunk, for Christ's sake.
Well, I feel the same way. It's a short end of the stick or something, the short end of the inseam.
No doubt about it. No question.
So, but you were asking about sports?
I was asking about sports.
We'll get to your Twins. They're in the spring training thing, and we'll see what happens with that outfield. Byron Buxton's going to play center field again. They got Matt Wallner in left, so that it's and Kepler's still in right. So it'll be interesting if Buxton can not break through a wall and hurt himself again.
We'll
see
nice.
what happens there. But I wanted to mention this whole Justin Jefferson thing. He a week and a half ago he talked about he wants to break the bank. Mm-hmm. And then over the weekend during the Super Bowl, he said that he wants to know who the quarterback is, and he wants Kirk Cousins. You can't have two things. One, you can't have it both ways. Can't break the bank and tell them you have to bring a quarterback back who wants like 40, 45 million. That's not going to work. And the other thing is the Vikings really screwed up by not signing him last year.
Right.
That was their mistake because now he got to see how bad life could be without Cousins. And because he knows those three guys they have are not going to help him any.
Oh, no. Seeing Josh Dobbs, Jaron Hall, and with Nick Mullins throw him the football, like that would make anybody want to
So
skip
notable.
town.
So notable names that you forgot one of them almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the Dobbs, though, if this is my problem with Kevin O'Connell, and we don't have, we have 2 seasons to judge it on. I don't think he can work with a quarterback who doesn't just drop back. Andy Reid will adapt to his quarterback and his talent. I don't know if Kevin O'Connell can. And he needs to prove he can because Josh Dobbs was terrific that first game he played.
Yes.
Second game was really good. But by the third game, he no longer was allowed to run. He couldn't freelance.
Right.
Then that's why they getting Jaden Daniels, because we've heard all the Vikings love Jaden Daniels. He would be a waste on that team if they try to make him a pocket passer because he's a guy that can move and he can make things happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, he would ruin Lamar Jackson if he had him. You can't do that to Jalen Hurts he would ruin if he just tries to make him a pocket passer.
Right.
So anyway, we'll see how this all plays out for them.
Why do we always have to mess with everybody we have? Would you explain that to me?
Because they know better than everybody else.
Is that what it is? I'm smarter than you, and therefore you're going to do what I ask you to do?
Yes, and keep in mind, he came from the Rams. He was the offensive coordinator, who, by the way, didn't call plays. But Matthew Stafford won a Super Bowl on the when he was offensive coordinator. Matthew Stafford is more of a statue than Kirk Cousins.
Right.
So he has not proved that he can coach a quarterback with mobility and take advantage of that mobility.
I have a question for you. As far as the really far superior athletes are concerned, is it because they make so much money they don't care anymore? Because they hardly ever go into coaching. I mean, the really, really good players. If they made enough money, they just don't want to even be involved anymore. Is that what it's all about?
I think there is something to that because in years past, a lot of guys went into coaching because they didn't know anything but football, and it was a way to make money. Keep in mind when the Purple People Eaters of the 70s in the offseason, they all had jobs.
Oh, yes. Absolutely they did.
I mean, it wasn't a year-round event the way it is now where guys would work out and they had to stay in shape. These guys, they worked at car dealerships or they worked, I think, didn't Bill Brown, he worked for a print shop.
Absolutely. I tell you, honest to God, all those players back in the day, they had their winter jobs.
Yeah.
Bob Allison sold cars in North Minneapolis. I remember that.
And a lot of them got into insurance. And I mean, there were, well, didn't Philly Dog do insurance?
On other people.
Well, I think, I thought he did when he was not, and he got into some law enforcement too after his career was over, but I think he did the insurance in the off season.
Did you ever play a pickup game with Philip Wise of any kind, basketball, football, baseball, anything like that?
I don't know, but I know he's incredibly competitive, and he is an athlete.
Oh, he's phenomenal at every. I will tell you something. Philip played on a softball team I played on. A bunch of really good guys, some of them from Wisconsin, some from Minneapolis. Went over to play a tournament in Wisconsin. And the whole way over there, because he would only ride in a car with me, not anybody else. He would ride with me.
Yeah.
So I'm driving him over there, Chain of Lakes over there in Wisconsin. And we're driving over there, and he goes, Tommy, I just want to make sure you guys understand something now. I don't want to be, introduced over, like, the speaker system or anything like that. I mean, I was a professional athlete for 11 years, and everybody knows me and everything, but I just like to keep it undercover and just be one of you guys. I don't want to be the, professional athlete. I said, okay, Philip, we'll make sure. No problem. His first time at the plate, swings and hits about a 400-foot home run, turns the crowd and goes, that's one.
Yeah, it's hard to blend in, especially at the Chain of Lakes in Wisconsin when you're Philip Wise just hitting dingers over the fence.
I mean, he crushed that thing. It was turns around the crowd. Yeah, that's one. Yeah, okay. Philly, I miss Philly, man. Well, I love that guy.
Now he's. Have you talked to him since he went to Vegas?
Once, yes.
Because Gelfand talked to him a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And,
yep.
I cannot speak for Philly, but he. I don't know if he and Vegas may not be the best mix.
Well, he likes it so far, though. At least he said he liked it so far. So
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he
I don't know about
belongs
living
here.
in Vegas. I understand what you're saying, though. I love going to Vegas, but I don't know if I could live there.
Because no one lives in Vegas.
Right.
You're living in these other communities, and it's not like what we get when we get a short burst of 3 or 4 days in Vegas, or we did for however many years it was. Now, is the podcast, have you talked about going on location to somewhere like, well, you'll never go back to Vegas, though, right? Or will you?
Well, no, I'd go back to Vegas, but apparently the big change from back then to now is the insurance rate is so incredibly high you can't do it anymore.
You mean to take a group there?
Yes, the insurance is millions of dollars, and it's not affordable to do the trips anymore.
Well, you could do the trips and just tell everyone you're on your own to get there, and you're not the one insuring them.
Well,
I don't know how it works.
I feel like if that was the plan, we shouldn't have just said that right now on the show.
We're going to set up some microphones, and maybe we talk into them.
That sounds like a lot of editing for me to take that out.
Yeah, I even talked about going down to like Treasure Island, doing some shows down there, but I guess I would like to work some out because I used to love doing live shows, Bob. You know that. We went up and did some in Duluth, and we did some down at Treasure Island.
Well, honestly, I mean, I don't know enough about it, but I would think the insurance liability should be on the venue.
Yeah,
and not on your show.
It's very expensive.
We went to the state fair. Vegas is just like state fair-ish.
Well, wait a minute. Treasure Island and these Vegas venues or casinos, they have acts in all the time. So they have an umbrella policy, I'm sure. Treasure Island, get off your ass. Get them down there.
Remember the woman, the first day in Vegas, or actually the first full day in Vegas, we flew in the night before. Next day, standing at the top of the marble stairs, tumbled all the way down about 20 marble stairs. That didn't go too well. I will never forget that one.
Was that the same woman who they thought was vomiting blood?
That's the one.
And it was one of those red drinks. Because I remember my wife, Mary, was in the bathroom when she was throwing up. And they said, it's a drink. She had I think she had the big, the big drink glass that they had all red. So,
well, I'll talk to him. I'll try to get it done because I would love to do a spring and a fall show in Minnesota. I would love to do that. Whether it's, like I said, we went to St. Cloud, we went to Duluth, we went down to Rochester, we went all over the damn place.
They're
it was
fun.
Wonderful. Red Wing,
are fun to do.
No doubt about it. See, if we went and did it at Treasure Island, it's down by Red Wing, and then I could go see my buddy Kyle at Smokin' Oak, man, the best barbecue joint in Minnesota.
Ooh.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
Or just go and do it at Smokin' Oak.
You just do it at the Smokin' Oak, exactly. Sounds good to me, man.
Yeah.
All right, Sandy, any closing comments?
Just that it's, your Timberwolves, the 4 wins in a row, they got the best record in the West, and they had a 30-point lead in the first quarter yesterday, and they didn't fritter that one completely away. So they are playing awfully good. And they're best. They have I think they were the best defensive team in the NBA, and defensive teams can go a distance in the postseason.
Works for me, Sandy.
So we'll see if this is the year for the not yet mighty Timberwolves.
All right, Palomino, we will talk to you next week.
I live for that. See ya.
We do too, Bob. We do too. Bob Sansevere Sports brought to you by Bialke Law Firm. Heard at work, Dave Bialke goes to work for you, taking care of your workers' comp injury claims and denials. Call 763-571-2410 or go to BIALKElaw.com. Tell them Bob and Tom sent you. And like I said, don't be afraid of this, because some people are like, I don't know if it's bad enough or whatever. Look, you got hurt at work. You deserve to be taken care of. Give Dave Bialke a call. You'll be good to go. We shall take a break. Be right back. Susan Gallagher and Martin Cove, baby. Join us right after this. Hey, it's a new year. Why not treat yourself to a new gun from K&L Surplus and Ammo? I personally know Jim, the owner, and I'm not making that up. He's a great guy. First of all, I don't do commercials for people I don't like. So there you go. But Jim's a great guy. He's been in the firearms business for over 15 years and knows how to set you up with the perfect firearm for your needs. K&L offers one of the widest selection of firearms in the region, including Beretta shotguns, Antica rifles. High school trap teams are starting to form now, and K&L has a great selection of SKB shotguns. K&L has Tika and SKB both in right and left-hand models. K&L also has a broad range of ammunition, including both American and European calibers. If you have a collection of guns that you'd like to sell, call Jim at K&L so he can help you get the best price through his network.
K&L Surplus and Ammo is on Lake Drive in Lino Lakes and open Tuesday through Saturday. You can also visit them online, www.klgunstore.com.
Hi, guys. It's Chris Egert from Channel 5 Morning News, along with my friends Megan Newquist and Ken Barlow. In the morning, we pride ourselves on sharing people's stories. I've been lucky enough to be part of this 5 Eyewitness News morning team for more than a decade now. This is where I've raised my kids and working alongside my friends for all these years. We're like a family, too.
We are family, Chris. Working with you and Ken and Hannah, it is such an honor to help folks start their day every morning on Channel 5. We get to catch people up on the news that's happening, and Hannah is here to keep an eye on the traffic around town.
And when it comes to weather, I know people rely on me to plan their day and get their family out the door. Over the last 10 years, there were so many memories and so many laughs. I just love sharing the forecast alongside you guys.
I feel the same way, Ken. To all you who start your day with us here on Channel 5, we think of you as family, too. Thanks for turning on 5 Eyewitness News in the mornings.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Susan Martin, ready to go?
No, I'm still waiting on that call, so we'll go a little time here.
There's one thing that I'm a little nervous about, because on our print sheet this morning says they're appearing at 9 o'clock, but on the sheet I was sent, it said it was at 8:50. So I hope they weren't expecting to be on at 8:50.
Well, I haven't gotten a call from them
either way.
So okay. Well, we'll see what happens, and it's Martin Cove and Susan Gallagher are supposed to join us. I hope they do, because a taste of love, a pigeonholed chef, Erin Cahill, frustrated by her current circumstances, determined to make her name for herself, returns to her small town in Florida. Doesn't say where it is, though. Doesn't say where the small town in Florida is or whatever. But, yeah, just let me know when Susan and Martin are ready to go.
Yeah, we'll do.
And if things, it just makes me a little nervous when one says 8:50 and the other one says 9 o'clock. So who knows which one they're looking at. But like you said, you didn't get a call either way, so I guess we could figure it out, right?
Yeah, I think. I mean, it's been 9 a.m. for like a week and a half now for them. I think that's just from we reused the Alfonso Ribeiro sheet from yesterday, so I think maybe I just didn't change the time there.
Why don't you stay on top of it?
Yeah, that's my bad. I didn't change the time.
Okay, but I'll keep an eye on.
So you both suck. That's good. Both my coworkers dropped the ball.
I sent this to AJ, and so usually, like you said, it's been 9 a.m. So I just changed the name and copy and paste the whatever bio.
Yeah, let's make sure we got the right time for now. What do you say? What do you say we do 100% of our job, huh? Absolutely. What do you think? Yeah, it's coming up on 9:04, so it ain't looking good. I'll say that. But if they do call in, it'd be great.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on it.
Like I said before, I've interviewed Martin Cove a couple of times before, and I think I've gotten 4 or 5 words out of him, so that works pretty well.
Well, we're on pace to get less than that so far.
Yes, we are. Yeah, I would say it being 9:04, I would not count on that interview happening, but you both dropped the ball on it, so I guess I'll just have to report you to the authorities. That's all there is to it.
Not the authorities, no.
Not the authorities, anything but that. I have a question for you, and I haven't read this story. What is trans refuge law? What does that mean?
Trans refuge law.
That's a word I've never heard in my life. So
I haven't either.
Not sure, but maybe safe passage for trans people. I don't know. Trans refuge law.
Yeah, trans refuge law draws some to Minnesota, and providers are struggling to meet the demand. Meet what demand? I don't understand what they're talking about. If a trans person wants to move to Minnesota, good, move to Minnesota. Welcome home.
Oh, I think it's for if their state, it looks like, doesn't do like, if they're traveling to Minnesota to receive gender affirming care.
Yeah,
they
I've got
can't.
since 2000, the U.S. has recognized transgender asylum seekers as a social group that deserves protection on the basis of like gender identity. So I think it's just what you're saying is like if they want to flee, some states have protection for that or something like that.
But that's good. I mean, but I don't understand what the pressure would be. Are we still in a situation? I gotta be honest with you. I've never understood, and like I said, people have been yammering about this and that and the other thing for years. Why would I possibly care if a man, want to become a woman or a woman become a man? How is that my business, first of all? And secondly, why would I care to be upset about that? It's got nothing to do with me, right?
Right. Yeah. It doesn't affect me one way or another if somebody wants to go to a clinic and get hormone treatments.
Yeah. I mean, 20 years ago, maybe even 25 years ago, we were the first morning show in America to have trans people on the show. And I believe the first trans person we ever heard of was, what was her name again? I can never remember her name. I used to know her name, but she was a Minnesotan, I believe, or he was a Minnesotan that became a woman. Mm-hmm. But we had trans people on the show all the time. Matter of fact, we had a trans traffic reporter. But no, that doesn't. Nobody ever gave us any credit for that early. Because, Dave Hamilton was a big part of that, too. It wasn't just me that said, hey, we should do this. And Hamilton and I talked about it and all the rest of it. But that was 25 years ago. And people are acting now this is a brand new thing. It's like we talked about this 25 years ago. And nobody was upset. Nobody called and said, what are you doing that for? They listened. It was the highest rated show in America. So hundreds of thousands of people are listening. I just don't understand why all of a sudden these problems have developed. Maybe a trans person could call in and tell us what is the problem now? Is the fact that it's in some states that look down upon that kind of thing and so they moved to Minnesota? Well, good. That's whatever, right?
Yeah, and it sounds like for this law, there's the family tree clinic in Minneapolis. They do a lot of like the hormone treatments. They've been doing it for about a decade, and it sounds like they get a lot of out-of-state patients from Texas, Florida, Ohio, Missouri, Indiana, and Kansas that come here because they're probably not able to get those treatments there. And so I don't know if they're being prosecuted in those states for coming here to get hormone treatments, but
I wouldn't think so.
Right,
Yeah,
but they're just saying like they can come here and there's no issues as far as getting those treatments. They can come from out of state to get them.
So that's good. I mean, Christine Jorgensen was that person's name. I can't remember what his name was when he was a guy, but he became a woman. It was Christine Jorgensen was the first, what would later be known as trans person. But that was when I was a really little kid. That had to be, I'm not kidding, that had to be 65 years ago. Christine Jorgensen, I'll have to look that up, or maybe one of you guys have it in front of you, what year that was. But I'm pretty sure it was in the 50s, if I remember correctly. So this has been around for 60, 65 years, and we're still battling over this? I mean, I don't really understand that. Do you?
No. And I never understood when like it was we can't let gay people get married back in the day and like all that stuff. It was like, who doesn't affect me none. Like if you get married over there, like I don't even know.
That's the way I looked at it, and I just I'd say I'm going to make a call here. I'd say since it's 8 after, they're probably not going to call in this morning. Nice fumble on the Studio A there. Nice job, you pills. Unbelievable. What a disaster you both are. There's no question. No getting around it.
Absolutely. The worst.
The worst of all time. Yeah, trans refuge law draws some to Minnesotan providers are struggling to meet demand. Why are they struggling to meet the demand? It's well funded, is it not? Or is it not well funded? More than 150 people responded to a survey. It says they're moving to the state. So where's the struggle?
But I have no idea.
It just costs a lot of money to move, I suppose. That's one thing. Moving does cost a hell of a lot of money. There's no question about it. But
absolutely.
I really wish that both of our parties, the Republicans and the Democrats, would stop being so vicious to one another, because all it does is inspire other people to be vicious to their neighbors, their former friends, people they don't like. You're offering an example of how to be a complete asshole to the citizens of the United States, and I really wish you both parties would stop doing that. Oh, you don't agree with my politics, then I hate you. I mean, really?
So yeah, it's what monkey see, monkey do. If you see the politicians going at each other's throat, then why wouldn't average Joe and Jill do the same thing at the grocery store?
I would agree with you. You're not going to get any argument from me whatsoever. You know what we might do? Why don't we take the break a couple minutes early, because and I got to do something about the scheduling of this, because for Kristen to be on for 7 minutes and then Tim on for 8 minutes. We got to find a way to move that around so it, get 10 minutes apiece somehow.
Yeah, for sure.
But why don't we take that break right here, and they would come very close to getting 10 minutes apiece, so that would be good.
All right.
That's what we'll do from now on. We'll just go 2 minutes, 3 minutes earlier. All we ever do is support everyone to the nth degree.
All we do is accommodate.
It's all we do. All right, we'll be right back in a couple minutes. We got Kristen Burt, we got Tim Lammers coming up next. Have you enjoyed Minnesota's non-winter this year? Want to enjoy the warmth whenever you want? Two Minnesotans can help you live that dream. Matt Carlson from Realty One Group Destination Key West grew up in Litchfield, Minnesota. Started out helping his friends find homes locally and in Florida, and now he can help you. If you've considered living in the warmth of Florida, now is the time to reach out to your new friend in Realty, Matt Carlson. It's a buyer's market now, and your Minnesotan friend Matt can help you with a new home here or in the Florida Keys. And if you need some guidance with financing, Kristen Eklund from Coast to Coast Mortgage can help. Kristen is Matt's preferred lender, can finance anywhere in Florida, and like Matt is one of us, as she hails from the Sartell, Alexandria area. So if you're looking at a new home in Minnesota, or maybe that second home or retirement place in Florida, trust your new local friends. Contact Matt and Kristen. Visit onekeywest.com. That's onekeywest.com, or call Matt at 612-791-2345, 612-791-2345, and work with local professionals you can trust.
Recently, Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC was contacted by a company that does on-site sales. Jim was confused.
Wait, they don't know anything about us, our staff, our reputation, most importantly, our customers.
Hey, pal, no problem. We do them all over the country. Get the manager off the roof sale, inflatable gorilla sale, and our favorite, the 13-hour sale with a giant clock that goes to 13. Urgency, baby. We bring our crew because, well, your people are, let's just say, a little laid back.
And the pricing?
Nothing special, sport.
But Jim thought we price competitively every day. Our prices are special. We definitely don't need these guys. But sale does convey some urgency, so we made a bold decision for his fine dealerships.
Announcing the Valley Buick GMC 365-day sale. And we can even extend it a couple years or so.
I got the air dancer guy, scratch offs, plastic keys, bubble machine.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley or Hastings, or valleycardealers.com. Hurry.
The Tom Barnard Show is proud to have partners like North American Banking Company, Bradshaw & Bryant, and attorney and advertiser Dave Bielke.
I've been advertising on Tom Barnard shows for years. I like Tom, not just because he's a good guy, but because the ads I run on his show bring me new clients that are hurt at work and need legal help. Tommy B works for me.
If you'd like to find out more about growing your business with the Tom Barnard Show, go to tombernardshow.com, keyword partner. You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Stop smiling right away when you come on, you pill. We're in a terrible mood. No, we're not really. Kristen Burt, Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabankco.com and learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Kristen Burt with us, ladies and gentlemen. So, what's the latest?
Happy Friday, everyone.
Happy Friday to you. There's no question about it. It is a happy Friday. So what's going on in California?
Yeah, kind of an interesting trend going on. And it made me think about it today because Jennifer Lopez has her new Amazon Prime musical out today called This Is Me Now.
Mhm.
But she self-funded this for $20 million. And she is not the only celebrity doing this. It made me also think of Kevin Costner. He has leveraged his $145 million California home, which is, up in the Santa Barbara area, for his upcoming film this summer, which is Horizon: An American Saga, for the first 2 parts. And it is showing you that celebrities with A-list names can't find the funding for their projects. And Jennifer's been pretty open about it, saying, I had the funding, it fell through at the last minute, and I was so passionate about doing this that she dumped $20 million of her own money. Now, this could obviously pay off handsomely. Amazon Prime bought it, so she's probably in a good position. But I've been hearing about Kevin Costner. He can't find anyone to fund parts 3 and 4 because this is supposed to be a 4-part film.
Right.
So he has to hope that this summer, when the movie comes out, part 1 comes out in June, part 2 comes out in August, that it is the biggest blockbuster ever. And we know what the box office looks like these days. I mean, everyone's kind of
Right.
it kind of makes me want to grit my teeth going, oh, I don't know how this is going to work out.
I used to have him on the KQ morning show all the time back. He would call in a couple times a year. He was really a great guy to talk to. What was that? The first thing he called in about was that movie there about some community in the middle of the ocean or what?
Waterworld.
Waterworld, yeah.
Waterworld was probably his most controversial production.
Yes, right.
Not only because of the costs and they went over budget. He allegedly had an affair with a woman. That ended his marriage, and because he didn't have a prenuptial agreement, that whole movie just cost him, because he wound up having like $100 million divorce on top of all of that. So Waterworld is if you ever go back, a lot of people they've done some oral histories on Waterworld. It's a really fascinating production to go back and look on. And I think it was Tina Majors, I think, was the young girl in that movie. Like, she was having to go in the water and she kept on getting stung by jellyfish. It was and she was like 8, you know what I mean? And every day she goes to work and gets stung by jellyfish. Like, you're just like, where was SAG in all of this?
Yeah, that's a little odd. Yeah, I don't know. So what's Hollywood going to do? I don't know. It's getting tougher.
It is getting tougher, and that's the big question, because if you have someone like Kevin Costner or someone like Jennifer Lopez, easily A-list names, easily people that you would want in their project, they can't get the funding. Like, what's going on here? Now, Kevin is betting on himself because he's thinking, well, I did Dances with Wolves. I self-funded that back, what was that, the late 80s, early 90s? Yeah. And he won Oscars for it. But the landscape is so much different now than when he did Dances with Wolves. To me, it is a huge risk that he's taking. I think for Jennifer Lopez, I think this paid off because Amazon bought the project. She also has the album dropping today. She's gotten a ton of press for it. Like, I feel like this was a good bet. But $20 million to like $145 million is a big jump.
That's a huge jump, no question. That was shot in South Dakota, wasn't it? Dances with Wolves?
Yes, yeah.
The only reason I remember that is because we're taking the family out to the to Mount Rushmore, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're driving through the state of South Dakota from Minnesota, and as we're driving through, that movie had been out about a year earlier. And as we drive through, there's this sign, and there's this horse standing in a field. And there's a sign on the fence that says, "The only horse that didn't appear in Dances with Wolves in South Dakota."
That's a tourist stop. I like that.
Exactly. Just one horse. Only one horse didn't make the cut.
I would be posing with the horse. I'd be like, this is the guy that didn't pass the audition.
Poor horsey. What are you going to do? Yeah, tough deal. No question about it. But I don't know. I think he's a good actor. I enjoy his work and all that stuff. He's a bit hard to get along with, from what I understand.
Yeah, he's a great actor. He obviously delivers the goods, but on set, I think he's such a perfectionist that if he thinks that something should go this way in the scene and the director thinks it should go the other way, I think that they start to butt heads. And I think some of it also comes to the part that Kevin Costner has also been a successful director. So he's got like two forces kind of like working against him sometimes. And he people want him on the project, but they also know that they're going to likely deal with a little bit of a difficult personality.
No question about it. It's really unfortunate because, like I said, I've always liked him. I always like his movies, and it's not. Well, Yellowstone, he had a major problem, as you told us. He had a major problem with that too.
Yeah, it's why we did not get a 6th season of Yellowstone. It was totally pending on his participation. And now we have the Yellowstone actors actually going, we're promised to get paid for the 6th season. It's in their contract and it's not happening. And this is kind of juicy too. Paramount is saying, well, you guys are going to wind up on the spinoff. So that is your 6th season. And they're like, A 6th season of Yellowstone is different than a 1st season on a spinoff, to the point that it's getting so heated behind the scenes. And they're all asking for a big bump in salary, by the way. They're all asking for like $1 million, which an episode. They deserve it. They've helped, create this whole universe of Yellowstone. But they're saying, you either pay us for the 6th season or we won't do the spinoff. So there's a possibility we will lose some of those characters, which I don't know how Taylor Sheridan is keeping track of like where everyone is going and where the storylines are going, because he is the sole writer of these shows. Right. And as I've joked all the time, he's the one propping Paramount Plus up at this point.
Well, he's a hell of a writer. There's no question about that. No doubt about it. Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Lammers brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyer seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at minnesotapersonalinjury.com. We got Kristen. We got Timmy. It's our Friday gang here, ladies and gentlemen.
Here we go, baby. Hey, Kristen.
What's our gang sign?
Oh, I'm not going there. Not going there.
I got an idea.
Throwing up gang signs.
E for entertainment. How about that?
E for entertainment. Yeah, there we go. E for entertainment. That works perfectly.
You're talking about Costner. I told Tommy this before, Kristen, but I've interviewed him 3 times over the years, and the first time was for Love of the Game, and he was upset because he wanted an R-rated cut, but Sam Raimi, who I've talked with several times in the past, such a great guy. He said the studio says deliver a PG-13, so apparently he had a full frontal scene that they had to cut, and he was pissed about that. And he was just really cranky in the interview. I thought, this is disappointing. It's Kevin Costner. I really admire the guy. However, you're right. I mean, he does fund a lot of his own things. So he funded a movie called Swing Vote that he came into Minneapolis for, and I'm sure, Tommy, you talked to him for that film.
Yep.
And he was terrific. And also there was a movie called Black and White that he also stuck his own money into that I talked to him for. So I think he can be, a very engaging sort of guy. But I mean, Hollywood is an ego business, right? And especially, I don't know if he's sticking any of his money into Yellowstone, but boy, butting heads with a guy like Taylor Sheridan, who is he's still on fire. Everything he does is great.
Yep.
And Taylor Sheridan, I know, was upset by the sort of feud that they had going on because he's like, I basically restarted your career because Kevin had kind of been laying low for a while, and Yellowstone was a big deal to get Kevin to TV too.
Yeah, absolutely. One other thing I wanted to add before I start with the review is that you're talking about the landscape of the business and how it's changing very, very rapidly. When you're talking about $200-300 million budgets, I mean, for a film, it's just like a no-win situation. It really is. And I saw an interesting report. I guess Variety came out with it just a couple days ago about this offer to the filmmakers of Roadhouse, the reboot.
Oh, yeah.
$85 million, and we go straight to streaming. Okay, we're going to give you $85 to make it straight to streaming. $60 million for a theatrical release. So, yeah, I thought that's really smart of them because who really does take it, in the shorts in the end? It's probably the studio. The talent is making money. So that they took the 85 and they went straight to streaming. And
the talent isn't making money, and that's why we had a strike.
Well, yeah, it is such of a bizarre situation because then the onus is on the Amazon. See, but who's really feeling sorry for Amazon? I mean, they got gobs of money and they lose. It's a write down, right? But it used to be that
you counted on those streaming subscriptions to help fund these projects or make money. You got to say, well, my God, Roadhouse. Oh, I mean, like anybody who's really dying to see a remake of Roadhouse.
If there's no Patrick Swayze, I'm out.
It's just the whole idea of somebody who doesn't have Amazon Prime already is going to actually subscribe to see Roadhouse. And that's another conversation for another day. But I do think it's a very interesting situation when you're giving this dual offer. It's like, okay, we'll put it in theaters for you with no guarantee of success, because who knows how much marketing money they're going to put behind it. And it's probably going to end up in streaming within a month anyway. So I think Doug Liman, the director of it, probably thought, you know what, I want to make a good picture. And $25 million more is going to help me make a good picture. So 100%. That's my general thought of it. But I thought, wow, this is maybe these sorts of offers are being made or have been made in the past, and we just haven't heard about them. But we're hearing about them now because budgets, it's a tricky deal, especially when, I don't know what movie you were talking about, but Costner, he's got a movie coming out that's costing gobs of money, and he's got this grand ambition to make more or something.
I was talking about Horizon. Yeah, I was talking about Horizon. And he doesn't have the funding for parts 3 and 4. He can't get it.
Well, look, even Jim Cameron's Avatar is in flux. I mean, he says, well, we got parts 3 and 4 and maybe 5. I mean, and God, talk about a guy who takes risks. And amazingly, look how well Avatar Way of the Water did, kind of to justify what he's doing. But apart from him, I don't know if there's anybody. Are you still there? Are we here?
I'm here.
Yeah, everybody's. We're listening to you two,
popping in and now.
No, it's me like this.
So it's really interesting.
Well, I would say also Tom Cruise isn't even a sure bet anymore. Sure, he was a sure bet for Top Gun.
I'll just keep talking. Is that okay?
No,
it might be your connection, Tim.
He can't hear us.
Yeah, I think he's frozen now.
Oh yeah, last summer definitely proved that, didn't it? I mean, with Mission Impossible.
We're gonna have to retool this segment. I'm here to tell you.
What happened to Tim's connection?
Tim,
so you're popping in and out. I'm just gonna keep.
Okay, no, you can't keep talking because you're cutting out.
I'm allowed to keep talking.
We can't do that segment that way. I don't know whose idea that was, but that's not a good idea. This is the Kristen Burt segment. We can put him in. We can just put him in at 9:00 and not have guests on Friday.
Okay.
Don't you think it's a better idea?
Yeah, I think so. Let them both shine to their fullest potential. Because Kristen, I do want to give you props for telling me to watch Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I watched the first episode. Even though I was skeptical going in, I loved it. So I'm glad that it looks like it'll work out long term, and hopefully they bring it for a second season too.
I love it because I was like, you gave me a little attitude. Are you sure? Are you sure? I was like, I promised you. And Donald Glover, I mean, I just love everything he does. I have to be honest, whether he's behind the camera or in front of the camera, it is a sure thing. And, he worked really hard on this project and it shows. He really distinguished it from what Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt did in the film.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So I'm going to run this by you guys because, this whole 9:00 thing was a disaster from moment one, except for Kristen Burt, of course. But yeah. So, why don't we not book guests after 9:00 on Fridays? And then we can have Timmy on from 9 to 9:10 and then have Kristen Burt on from 9:15 to 9:30. What do you think?
Works for me. Sounds like a plan.
Whatever works for everyone, I'm in.
Well, you'd be on the same time, so we're not changing.
I know it doesn't affect me whatsoever. I just
Yeah,
show up.
Speak of the devil.
There I am. Yeah. Hey, look, I love being on the same time as Kristen, but I understand. But let's have just a tiny bit of crossover if we can. If I come on at 9:00.
You're out of the mix. You're out of the mix.
Sorry. No, it's fun. It's fun to talk about the business. I love talking about the business. So let's try to keep some little crossover.
Well, that's what we're going to do. No, listen to
great.
me. Listen to me.
Perfect.
We're going to do a 9:00 segment with you till about 9:10, something like that. And then we'll go to break. But if you want to hang on with a break, and then you can kind of intro Kristen and turn it over to her.
Sure.
For the last 12 minutes of the show. It'll be
All right,
perfect.
yeah, that sounds good. That sounds really good.
That's
So anyway-
assuming, by the way, it's assuming that Tevin and AJ don't drop the ball again and book people at 2 different times. You know, stuff like
Hey,
that.
I love all of you guys. I'm not going to talk
Disaster.
smack about anything. Okay, so anyway, hopefully you're caught up on Capote versus the Swans. I watched episode 4 last night. Oh God. It is such brilliant stuff, and I will add in Griselda because I saw your Facebook post, Tommy, about
oh my God,
how you finished that. That's a Scarface story, all with the exception of the plunging the face into the cocaine pile and the say hello to my little friend. You know, it was
Exactly.
everything else. I mean, she totally lost her. She went bat bleep crazy at the end. But what it does for you is that when you see a show like Griselda or you see a show like Capote versus the Swans, and then you go to Madam Web, and it's just like, it's so half-hearted. It's just the acting is not there. And again, talking about a flailing genre with the superhero genre, and Sony trying to keep themselves into the superhero game by, you know, using their existing properties that they own to try to keep up with the MCU. I don't know what the heck they're doing, but this is basically, it feels like a Spider-Man spinoff. It is not a Spider-Man movie. It's basically a situation where the hero, who is Dakota Johnson, her mother was bit by a spider before she gave birth, and then she inherited this power of premonitions. And that helps her try to defeat the bad guy who also got a bite from the spider and dresses up like Spider-Man. He looks like the black suited version of Spider-Man. But the acting is so incredibly flat. And I know all these people can act. It's always about the script, right, Kristen?
That's right.
The writers have such legitimate points. And I'm not going to knock the director. The director did some, I'm trying to remember what her name is. I'm getting
SJ something.
S.J. Clarkson or something. And I got my guest here. Jules is with me on my shoulder. It's just flat. It's just dull. It's uninspiring. I won't say it's a laughably bad superhero movie, but it's just dull. It's just, we've seen so much of this stuff before that the superhero genre needs a shot of adrenaline. And the next shot we're going to get at it is in July with Deadpool and Wolverine. And if that doesn't do it, I don't know what's going to save this genre. But again, getting back to the money thing, $200 million, $300 million. You just can't make that up on the balance sheet. You just can't do it. So I would say Hollywood is in trouble, at least as far as the superhero genre is concerned.
That does make sense.
And I was going to say Dakota Johnson's press junket tour has not been wildly successful because I don't think people understand her sarcasm all the time. And it doesn't sound like she's very excited about the movie right now.
Well, you can definitely sense that with, I got a lizard crawling on my head. If you can see that.
Yeah, it's a good look. It's a really good look.
Oh my God.
Does he have antlers on?
Lick me.
Yeah. So this is the first time this has happened. I'm just signaling my son he loves to show off his lizard. So I'm sorry.
I understand.
Yeah. So, when you can definitely sense when the enthusiasm isn't there, that the talent knows that these movies aren't going to work, So yeah, it's too bad. I think she's decent. There was a movie called The Peanut Butter Falcon. Did you see that? With Shia LaBeouf? Oh my God. It's an incredible movie. And she's really good in it. I think, again, it's the script, but the script isn't there. The script is there for Capote versus the Swans. The script is there for Griselda. It is not here for Madam Web.
All right, folks, time to hit the road. But remember, next Friday, Timmy will be on from 9 to 9:12.
Sure.
And then we'll take a very quick break. And then Kristen will be on from 9:15 to 9:30. Perfect.
Sounds good, baby.
We do have Dr. Phil that'll be on from 8:50 to 9:05. So we might have to play it a little.
When's that?
On Friday next week. So Tim,
Next
we might.
week. Are you sure it's not 8:50 to 9 o'clock? Did you keep
could be
bouncing back and
Wednesday. Could be Wednesday. Could be
forth? What a
Monday.
shock.
We're gonna keep you guessing.
Dr. Phil. I
I
have
would
so many
love to be
questions.
on with Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil. All right, we'll get that worked out.
Phil.
I'll leave it up
Starting
to
his
you
own
guys.
empire.
All right,
Dr.
sounds
Phil.
good.
Talk to you guys later. Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Lammers brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyer seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at minnesotapersonalinjury.com. And Kristen Burt, entertainment news brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. You know what I love about that? Still kept trying to talk while I was reading the outro.
I
It's
think
like, shut up.
I think his connection today was just not great because
He
he was
said-
like lagging there too.
She said, I can't hear you guys. I'm just going to keep talking.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep talking because I can't hear you.
I think that's the opposite thing to do there.
Absolutely it is. There's no question about it. But yeah, we'll move that to 9 o'clock. We'll not. Okay, so next Friday we'll have Dr. Phil on, and then we'll figure out what to do after that. Then it'll be the Tim Lammers show, and it'll be the Kristen Burt show, and they won't be together other than maybe about 60 seconds because Tim tends to kind of take over those interviews anyway.
Oh yeah, once he gets going on movies that he's passionate about, it's you just sit back and you and absorb the knowledge.
Yeah, and that's his job, so I understand why he does it. But yeah, we'll get that straightened away by next week. But Dr. Phil is always a really, really good guest, so that'll be great. It's too bad that we didn't have Susan Gallagher and Martin Cove on, but Martin can be difficult. I've talked to you about that before, so maybe that's what happened. And like I said, well, we had it scheduled 2 completely different times, so we'll try to get this crap all taken care of by next week, and we'll talk to you on the family show in about 10 minutes. Thanks.